Hey guys, Tony here. Back to do recent vinyl editions video. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Had the day to myself today, and it's been a little while since I've done a video. I kind of took a little bit of a break, and it's really cold and gray outside, so I stayed in and listened to records and watched videos. Had a fire going and hung out with my dog. It was nice, and I figured it's probably time I make a video. If you watch my last video, I showed a pile of records behind me that I still had yet to show, and that's mostly what this is here. And some newer stuff, But yeah, lots of good videos out there. It's good to see people making videos. I just watched Rob Paniques. Rob, how you doing? I know you'll watch this. Good to see you. But yeah, so want to get started here, and some amazing stuff, some jazz, prog, Brazilian, a little bit of everything, But anyway, I'll get started, and I'll try not to keep you too long, and you know how that goes. Like Fred, I picked up The Knife, their debut, reissue, Swedish electro-pop duo, fantastic band. I have most of their work on vinyl now, and I'm glad they reissued this. It's really nice. It's a fantastic album. Much more poppy than their more recent work, but still really, really good. Happy to get it. This album I saw in my local store, and you take note of the cover. You don't really forget when you see this cover. And I didn't think much of it. It was in the area where they have recommendations. The Red Scroll Records, they have a area where they recommend things, and I saw it there a while ago. And since then, I've seen Andreas, Sonic Mainliner, show it. I think a couple times he showed it and played it in the background and recommended it. And they got it. My local store got it in again, and I picked it up. Texas group. You look at the album and you think it's a metal album, and that's Troller. So yeah, you see this cover and it's like, looks like a metal album, but it's actually sort of a gothic electro pop record. And it's really good. I highly recommend it. These guys are from Texas, and I think Texas. Anyway, really good stuff. Sort of dark, electronic, electro pop. Yeah, really good. So check it out. Troller from this year. I think it was recorded a couple years ago, actually, but it's on the Holodeck label. Holodeck? Can't really see that, but good stuff. So thank you, Andreas, for talking about this. Like a lot of people, I also picked up the new Tim Hecker, Virgins. Tim Hecker, of course, the drone, ambient composer, minimalist composer. I really like his work. He it's just sort of his soundscapes that he makes, these drones, and he's got a real attention to detail, and I just enjoy his work, and this is a good one. He incorporates some more instrumentation into this, and it's on Cranky Records, and if you have this and you haven't listened to it all the way through, make sure you have the record 1 and record 2. I bought this, listened to record 1, and that's all I listened to, And shortly after, my local store again, they let me know that there's been some issues with having 2 of the same records. I said, no, mine's fine. I thought I checked it. I usually do, because I've had it happen a couple times where a double record and I get 2 of the same record. And I usually check, but in this case I didn't. But I was like, no, I checked. I've probably checked something else, But I thought I had. And a couple weeks later, I go to listen to it again, and sure enough, I had 2 of the same record. So I wrote Cranky an email, and they were just amazing at getting back to me and sending me a replacement copy of the record that I was missing. They got back to me within the hour, and that day they sent the record out priority, and I got it in 2 days. I mean, what more can you ask for, So, really happy with that. So, yeah, Tim Hecker, Virgins. Great stuff. Highly recommended. I mean, not everybody's cup of tea, but excellent stuff. Check it out. I picked up a reissue of Vangelis, soundtrack to the movie Sex Power. Don't know the movie, don't know too much about this, except that this is really good. It's really varied. It's, Vangelis. It's a good Vangelis album. Some of it's more of his, Vangelis sort of electronic stuff that he does. Also some more really nice most classical sounding sort of things. It's really varied, and I recommend it. It's been reissued a couple times. This is the most recent one. But yeah, a really good Vangelis record. Sex Power. Anyway, this one, I checked it out at my local store, and I wasn't too crazy about it on first listen, you know? So I didn't get it, and it didn't sell. It was there, and I decided to check it out again, and I did, and I really liked it. So it's just one of those things, you know, probably my mood or something. But Ancient Future. So this band with Natural Rhythms. This band sort of, I believe, coined the phrase world fusion, and that's exactly what it is. They take these different world music genres and sort of blend them together with within a rock and folk sort of format, and it's beautiful, beautiful listen, really nice. Enjoyed it quite a bit. So, U.S. group, $7. Ancient Future, Natural Rhythms, excellent. It's been a little while since I've shown a Neil Young record, and I have a Neil Young bootleg. It's an unofficial thing, but it's sort of a compilation of rare tracks, live tracks, all sorts of things. Has stuff from like El Dorado. I mean, I have most of this already digitally. Some of it I have on vinyl. There's outtakes from Ragged Glory. There's his performance at that Bob Dylan tribute festival from like 1992 or something. Yeah, 92. Outtakes from Ragged Glory and Sleeps with Angels. Has the track Interstate, which was an extra track on the vinyl-only version of Broken Arrow. It's a cool thing. 2 LPs. Really strange cover. A picture of some desert bar, some rundown saloon, and these horses. Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, Collector's Heartland revitalized. But yeah, unofficial thing, but add to the Neil collection. Good stuff. Some Brazilian finds now. Neilio, my buddy Neilio in Brazil sent me a package. If you watch my videos, you know that we do trades, and he sent me some amazing stuff. Neilio, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You sent me some amazing things, and I hope you'll be as happy with the package I'm sending you as I am with this. Just amazing stuff. So I'll show you what he sent me. 5 records. He sent me an album by Elise Regina. I know it's not how it's pronounced. Her album Elise Elsa Mular, which might be The Woman, something Woman. An album from 1979. If you don't know who she is, she's a Brazilian, she's a legend in Brazil. Singer, you know, pop singer, jazz singer, bossa singer. Amazing, just amazing. And she died young, I think, partying, and the lifestyle sort of caught up with her, that sort of thing. And but yeah, a lot of great work. This is my first album by her, but I do know some of her stuff, and it's really nice. Brazilian pressing, 1979. Thank you so much, Neilio. And also Milton Nascimento with Io Vivo. Now, there isn't much by Milton Nascimento that I've heard that I didn't like, and this is really good. Really happy with it. From 1983 or 84, Brazilian press, excellent. And these last 3 are the ones I'm like really excited about. They're fantastic. This one I didn't know much about. He told me he was sending it. It's Cesar Camargo, Mariano, and Nelson Ayres with Prisma. Oof. Fantastic record. Again, this too is really varied. It's sort of some of it sounds like really funky, disco-y sort of stuff. A lot of it's really beautiful piano, and some of it's sort of progressive electronic sounding. It's from the 80s, and it's phenomenal. Really blown away by this. There's some really great stuff on this album, and super happy with it. This guy was a pianist, keyboard player, Cesar Mariano, killer Brazilian press, of course, on the Pointer label. If you see, I can't really see that. Pointer. Anyway, thank you, Neilio. And this one I've wanted for a while. I asked him to keep an eye out, and he found it. Roberto Carlos. Oof, a fantastic album. I believe this guy played with or was friends with Tim Maia early on, but again, he's a huge star in Brazil in his own right. And a fantastic self-titled album from 1971. I believe this is the second press of it on CBS. Fantastic. I really love this album. Thank you. And this one really blew me away, Neilio. He told me he was sending this, and when he told me, I was like, oh, man. Because I actually just bought this artist's first album, and he found his second one, Tim Maia, his second self-titled album, Brazilian press on Polydor. Fantastic. Tim Maia, of course, soul funk. He was the soul funk man of Brazil. I mean, just killer, and really happy with this. So, again, Neilio, thank you so much, man. I so appreciate it once again, and yeah, your package will be going out very soon. So, cool stuff. A couple more Brazilian finds. These are I purchased on my own. This is a Mr. Bongo reissue. Flaviola Ilo Bando do Sol. Psychedelic folk record. Fantastic. Really sort of, has these like sort of, there's this sort of atmospheric sounds. It's killer, but it's a psych folk record. Really top-notch stuff. I love this record. It's so good. Originally released on the Solar label. Yeah, fantastic. Really happy with that. Mr. Bongo. Here is an album by Chico Buarque, and I found this at a record show. Haven't spent much time with it, to be honest, but I listened to it once, and I liked it. It's a good sort of, Chico Buarque album. Self-titled, I think, from 1980. It was just a few bucks, Brazilian press. So yeah, really happy with this. Cool stuff. Here's one that I've wanted for a little while now. Fred has shown this. In fact, I learned about this from Fred a long time ago. I wanted to send Fred a package, and I asked him if there was anything he was looking for, and this was one of the titles that he gave me. That's the first I heard of it. And I looked for it. I couldn't find it, or when I did, it was really expensive, as is much of this guy's work on vinyl. It's usually a lot of money, and he has since found a copy, and I found this recently for an excellent price. And this is João Donato with a Bad Donato. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this. Brazilian jazz funk killer. This is on Blue Thumb. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful copy. A little bit of wear on the cover. I mean, just that little sort of nick there. But other than that, the vinyl is beautiful. Yeah, on Blue Thumb. You see that a little bit. There you go. So yeah, really happy to score that one. Sort of a long time want. This one I've actually had for a while, and I never showed it. I don't know why. I just never got around to showing it. But it's the second album by Secos y Mahalos. Brazilian. They're considered glam because I think they dress in makeup and costumes and things. Their sound is sort of like a Brazilian rock, like folk psych sort of sound. Sort of jaunty stuff. And yeah, their second album, not quite as good as their first, but still excellent. And this is an original Brazilian press. Has a textured cover, and it has the custom labels, which I think this was like the first Brazilian record with custom labels. If I'm not mistaken, it was sort of unheard of then. Just a mint copy of this, and the people have complained about this record, saying they didn't use virgin vinyl and the sound quality isn't that great, and it is a little bit noisy. I mean, the thing's mint, but just the sound, it's a tad bit noisy, but nothing to really complain about, at least in my opinion. And yeah, really happy to get it. Yeah, it has a sort of textured cover, and yeah, good stuff. Happy to find that. They have a third album. I thought they only had 2 albums. They have a third album, which Chris 4127 Basket showed recently. And I said to him, I have no idea. He wasn't too crazy about it, but I think I'm happy with just their first 2. But anyway, really happy with that. And this one, my last Brazilian find, I love this band. This band's second album is just one of my all-time favorite Brazilian records. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it's considered just one of the best Brazilian records. And I wanted to get their first album, and it's sort of hard to get, But this came up on eBay. It's the second pressing, Brazilian press, and nobody bid on it. I think people are probably just out for originals, or whatever. But I bid on it, and I got this for like super cheap, outside of shipping, because it came from Brazil. But other than the shipping, it was like super cheap, and I'm really happy with it. I first put it on, and I was sort of like, it's good, I listened to it a second time. I liked it more. But a third listen, I'm just like blown away by it. Now, their second album is definitely better, but this is still fantastic. The first album by Os Novos Pianos, their debut. Now, again, this is the second pressing, Brazilian press, and I believe the originals didn't have this sort of bar up here and all that, but still, beautiful copy of it. There's the record, and just happy to get it. It's a fantastic Brazilian record. Excellent. All right, now moving on to some jazz. Chris, John Coltrane 68, did you show this? I know I've seen it before. My local store got it in, and I bought it. It was just a few dollars. But Head, Heart, and Hands, German jazz fusion band. And, yeah, this is excellent. Really funky jazz fusion from Germany on the Metronome label. I know I've seen it, and maybe this was in your German series, Chris. But anyway, yeah, Head, Heart, and Hands. Cool cover as well. Mike, Bostonian Reggie, he recently showed The Kid by Harold Owsley. And I told him that I bought a Harold Owsley album a few months ago, and I haven't shown it yet. And it's interesting. I think this is the follow-up to The Kid, but they have a lot of the same tracks in common. And this is Harold Owsley, The People's Groove, on the Muse label. Found this in my local store for $8, and it's excellent, fantastic soul jazz. But yeah, Harold Owsley, The People's Groove. It also has the track of The Kid. It has Me and Bobby McGee. Those are the two that come to mind that I'm pretty sure are on The Kid. But yeah, happy to find that. It's still in the shrink for $8, so I think from 77 or 78, 77. Cool. Alright, so my last video I showed the Tony Williams Lifetime Emergency album, which I got for free. I mean, it was beat. But I also got these with it. All in, I paid $6, you know. $6. This one was $1. Ego. Tony Williams Lifetime with Ego. I think it actually goes that way. How about that? So yeah, Tony Williams Lifetime Ego. The cover's got some wear, but it's in much nicer shape than Emergency, if you saw that. And the vinyl's beautiful, no problems there. And but yeah, for $1, I wasn't gonna leave that, you know. And this one was $5. It's a reissue, but still, Lifetime, the Lifetime album, Tony Williams, Herbie Hancock. I mean, Sam Rivers, Bobby Hutcherson, Herbie Hancock, Richard Davis, Gary Peacock, and Ron Carter. Again, lots of wear on the cover. The vinyl is beautiful. I mean, they taped one of the edges here, but for $5, I wasn't gonna leave it. And the vinyl's like near mint, so yeah, cool stuff for now, you know. Ornette Coleman, a couple of Ornette Coleman albums. This is another one I found at that record show. Just a couple dollars. Ornette Coleman, New York Is Now with Dewey Redman, Jimmy Garrison, and Elvin Jones. Really excellent live set. But yeah, on Blue Note, it is a promo, which it's sort of stamped into there, if you could sort of see that. Promo, not for sale, and on Blue Note. It's the gatefold. Somebody wrote 50 cents in the gatefold and on the back. But, you know, if it was cheap, and it is a Blue Note, excellent album. And with that, I also found Ornette Coleman, the Ornette Coleman Trio at the Golden Circle, Volume 1, live in Stockholm. Excellent. Really, this like highly regarded. Volume 1 and Volume 2. So yeah, one is a UK import, this one. And this one is a Liberty Blue Note, right here, a stereo pressing. Really happy to score these. You know, I got a bunch of Ornette Coleman now. It's, you know, adds up quick. But yeah, Ornette Coleman Trio. All right, moving on now. This is sort of an Australian obscurity, sort of a psych folk album. Phil Sawyer with Childhood's End and Other Stories. I'm sorry, Other Songs for Electric Children. Reissue of this on the Gerson label. So sort of a psych folk album. Really sort of like delicate psych folk sort of stuff. with the exception of like one track, and that is the title track, Electric Children, which sounds like a psychedelic like freak out compared to the rest of the album, you know. But yeah, reissue. I bought it used for, I don't know, a few dollars. It wasn't much, $8 or something, on the Gershon label. Yeah, so happy to find it. It's sort of a Australian obscurity from 1971 originally. So happy to find that. I bought 2 albums by Bo Hansen. The only Bo Hansen I had was stories inspired by Lord of the Rings. But I also found now Magician's Hat. This is for $5, a UK import on the famous Charisma label. Fantastic. And Attic Thoughts. I enjoyed both of these. Much more of a prog rock sound to these two. But yeah, happy to get those. Just trying to move quick here. I mean, what do we have for 20 minutes already? So I've had this for a while. It's the second album on the None Such electronic sort of series. The second one, Andrew Rudden, Tragedia. So this one came out right after Silver Apples, and it's very much of its time. I mean, it sounds like it's early electronic. So it's a composition in 4 movements for electronic synthesizer. It's maybe, for lack of a better term, a bit more playful than Silver Apples, but still, it's excellent. I read that this was composed before Silver Apples, but Silver Apples had the honor of being first, so as a result, it gets more attention. But yeah, for $5, beautiful copy of it on None Such. Found this at my local store, got it in, and it's alright. Some tracks are better than others, but it's still sort of just a cool piece to find. Coven, with their 3rd album, Blood in the Snow. Again, it's alright. Rock band, their 3rd album. Some tracks are definitely better than others. I mean, some of it's sort of like, I'm sure you guys have heard of Coven by now. They're the band that, was first to talk about, like, devil worshipping and witchcraft and all that good stuff. And, they did some sort of strange things, but it's a cool piece, I have their 2nd album, a promo of their 2nd album. I'd love to find their first, but Coven. What else? Oh, an 80s UK repress of The Madcap Laughs by Syd Barrett. It's on the Black Harvest label. Beautiful copy of it. I mean, it's an 80s repress, but still sounds nice, and happy to own it. 2 Soft Machine albums. So, Soft Machine 6. Now, I always sort of feared that Soft Machine sort of drops off after 4. But this is 6, and it was actually much better than I thought it would be. Beautiful copy of it. Really nice. Happy to get it. And I also found a ABC Probe copy of Soft Machine debut, but it is a censored cover, which kind of sucks. I mean, look at that. Who would approve that? It's just nothing. Nothing there. I mean, I'd love the die-cut cover and everything, but still good to have this. I only had a recent reissue of it, and the sound quality kind of sucked, to be honest, but a nice ABC Probe copy in beautiful shape. But it is the censored one, so other than that, though, I'm happy to have it. So there's been a rash of really good reissues that came out through Light in the Attic and their subsidiaries and labels that they distribute for, etc. And this is one. They all came out at the same time. I grabbed a bunch. I'm not showing them all here, but Living Music, to Allen Ginsberg. Fantastic stuff. Let me read you the hype sticker. This one's on Roundtable, but like distributed by Light in the Attic. So let me read this to you real quick. The link between acid folk, library music, and krautrock, Living Music, was a collective of Italian musicians, artists, and poets active in the counterculture and student movement of Rome in the late 60s, early 70s. Their sole album is a phenomenal psychedelic excursion into commune folk, Tibetan chants, Indian drones, and avant jazz. But yeah, it has members of Brain Ticket. Fantastic. Highly recommended. Its music, again, really varied. Sometimes it sounds like free jazz. Other times it's really Eastern and like it describes. All music set to Allen Ginsberg's poetry. I'm a fan of Allen Ginsberg. I mean, it opens up with Howl. So I love the cover. It's all grass. You open up the gatefold. It's all the same. It's grass and the back. But yeah, very cool release. Really happy with that one. And this one, I've probably listened to this more than anything else here. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. Pete and Royce, The Suffering of Tomorrow. from 1980, but it sounds like it was recorded in 1970. Prog Psych album. Has a bit of jazziness to it, and also a bit of something that kind of reminds me of Michael Chapman in a way as well. But this is phenomenal. Yeah, they're a Greek band, Pete and Royce. Originally privately pressed, so originals are like impossible. But yeah, this is killer. Check it out. Highly recommended. Also distributed through Light in the Attic. You could get it through their website. But on the Music Baz label, they have a second album. I hear it's not as good, but I haven't checked it out. But yeah, nice reissue of this. Promo copy. Now, I recently showed Terry Riley's Descending Moonshine Dervishes. This is along those same lines. I think it's actually the follow-up to it. But a promo copy of Shri Camel. There you go. Shri Camel. Promo copy. It is a white label on the Columbia Masterworks label. It's pristine copy. Love it. Love Terry Riley. Along the same lines as Moonshine Dervishes, sort of looping keyboards with the Eastern sort of flavor. It's excellent, you know. Great cover as well. Really happy with that. Here's an album that I got to thank Blake, and I got to thank Secco Funk, because he sent this to Blake as VCLT. And I would have never known about it. Blake played it in the background, and I loved what I heard. I checked it out further, and it's impossible to get. It was. I was able to finally find a copy for a very reasonable price, because I couldn't see any, at first I couldn't find any copies for under $100. But this is the William Parker Quartet with Small Birds. That's Small Birds in French. I'm not even going to try it. But a fantastic jazz album from 2008. William Parker has since passed away, but fantastic bass player. I mean, the bass playing on this is killer, but the whole album, very listenable, very interesting, just fantastic stuff. And really happy to get this. It's limited, hand done, silk screen cover. It's just phenomenal. 500 only. I have 192 of 500, still in its original sort of sleeve. But yeah, excellent stuff. So thank you, Blake, for talking about this. Here's one I got to thank Fred for. First I heard about it was from Fred. I got this for next to nothing. For literally next to nothing. The Jazz Composers Orchestra. The original box set. Yeah, I mean, it's like the box. The only thing is the lid. When I got it, the lid was hanging on by a thread. The second time I opened it, it came off. Has the booklet. Things like unplayed. Literally, the vinyl looks new. And this is from like, I don't know, 66 or something around there. Look at that lineup, though. Cecil Taylor, Don Cherry, Roswell Rudd, Pharoah Sanders, Larry Coryell, and Gato Barbieri. Composed and conducted by Michael Mantler. Free jazz, and it's killer. Yeah, really happy to get this. For what I paid, like nothing. Really happy to get that. Moving on, I have some Prog. 4 Prog albums. Also inspired by Mike Bostonian Reggie, even Fred, Scott Mays. Scott, if you watch this. John Coltrane 68. I came across a seller, and he had a whole bunch of Prog for really cheap. And I got these for a phenomenal price. Chris just showed this. Bernard Zanier with Some Deaths Take Forever. Electronic, really dark, moody, sort of electronic. At times it's an excellent album, but at times it does sound sort of dated, and at times it sounds really modern. It's a really cool record. All for a soundtrack to a film about the death penalty. Killer French composer. Really, really good. Love that cover. I mean, when you know what it's about, it's excellent, and really happy with this one. Finally found Super Sister's 3rd album. Really happy to get this one. It's a German press, I think, German. They're a Dutch prog band, sort of in the Canterbury style. It's sort of their first 2 albums are definitely better, but really happy to get this. I now have their first 3. What is this called again? Pudding and Gersten? I don't know, but it's a really cool record. Happy to score it. I finally found my first Zao record. Zao, their 4th album with Kawana. So they are a Zool offshoot, Magma offshoot, Zool band. By this time, they were more fusion-y, but still very progressive and still excellent. And really happy to score this. This is the American press on the Peters label. Got this for really cheap as well, and super happy with it. Zao, killer. And one more, and again, I gotta thank primarily Scott Mays for this. He has talked about it, you know. He shortly after I ordered it, he posted it on Instagram. I also posted that I needed to buy Zao. He posted a Zao album, and I saw he recommended this to somebody, and I've seen it before. And when I was looking through the seller's stuff, I saw they had this for cheap as well. I'm going to slaughter the name, but I want to say it's Vedorji. Their only album, again, another Magma offshoot. Members from Magma and members from Heldon. Killer album. Again, it's Zool. I know Zool isn't pronounced Zool, but Zool. And phenomenal record. You know, very much in the Magma style, but still killer. Absolutely love this album. It is an original French pressing. Got it for a fantastic price on Cobra. Killer. Really happy to get this. Moving on. Here's a really interesting one by Bobby Brown. The original Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown. This is he was a guy that sort of a one-man band. You know, he had this whole setup here, and he would tour in his van up and down the West Coast mainly and play. And it's sort of psych folk, very spiritual psych folk. This guy has a vocal range like nothing I've ever heard. Just really, really interesting stuff. Sort of a loner, outsider folk, psych folk. And this is a private press. He had them done, and he sold them out of his trunk, really, out of his van. And if you have one, that's probably where it came from. And they're all autographed by him. He signs and makes these smiley faces, and it's a really interesting album. This came into my local store. Really cool stuff. This is called The Lightning Beam of Axandia by Bobby Brown. Yeah, there's the back. So yes, psych folk, weird sort of psych folk, you know. But yeah, excellent stuff. Again, he plays this whole thing on his own, and he toured with his dog. He's still around. I don't know what he does now, but yeah, Bobby Brown. Very cool. Okay, now we're going to have a Cybertron interlude. Now, when I was talking about those reissues, they reissued Monster Planet by Steve Maxwell von Braun, who was a member of Cybertron. And this is his album, Monster Planet. I don't know if this is his only album or what. When I first put this on, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then I played the second side, and I liked it more. And since, listened to it again, and I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as the Cybertron stuff, but it's still excellent, still really cool. Reissue on the Clear Light of Jupiter label out of Australia. Again, this is by Dual Planet. I think if you're in Australia, it would be on the Roundtable label, the reissue. Originals of this usually go for big money. Fred, do you have this? An original of this? Or I'm not sure. And also a reissue of their very first album, which is a live album, Cybertron. Recorded live. They put it out themselves. Originals of this are impossible. Privately pressed. Cybertron. Excellent. I was sort of scared about Cybertron, like another electronic progressive album, like Popol Vuh or Tangerine Dream. So I kind of stayed away, but I bought this and loved it so much. I mean, I really fell in love with this album that I found a copy of their first album, an original, pristine copy, absolutely pristine on Clear Light of Jupiter. Gorgeous copy. It's like brand new. It came from a Prog collection. I bought stuff from this collection before, and it's always like brand new. Like, it's pristine, and this is one of them. Oh, man, I'm really happy to own this. I got it for a great price. I think I paid $60 for it, and I had money in my PayPal account. And that's how I bought it. So Cybertron, Australian press, awesome stuff. Okay, and last two things. Chris, John Coltrane 68. I got to thank you for this. He let me know. He let a few people know, and I jumped on it. Zoning by Mary Lou Williams. Fantastic. I talked about Mary Lou Williams in my last video. Jazz pianist, a legend. Her playing is so natural. It's like breathing. I can listen to her play piano all day. It's very soulful. This one is incredible. But also with that, I also got Mary Lou Williams presents The Black Christ of the Andes. Stereo pressing original. Both of these are on Mary Records. Private presses. This one's a gospel jazz album. They're gospel parts intersped with jazz parts, and legendary album. Really happy. I got this for like $30 and couldn't believe it. You know, beautiful stereo copy. There you go, guys. So those are my finds. Took up enough of your time, so thank you for watching. Please leave me comments, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.